How's it going, everybody? Vash here with another build vlog. As you can see here from our previous vlog, we got a little bit difference here on my printer. I installed the Anycubic UltraBase on the Anet. It's really nice. It's a glass bed, but it's got little grooves in it, so it actually allows the prints to stick to it. I did learn though that the bed does need to be heated for this. If you print things without any heat on the heated bed, they won't stick. They eventually just pop up. I tried this multiple times, so I know for a fact you need to have heat because this print here is the first one that finished on this one. So this is the first print I've done on the UltraBase that completed. So right now we're actually just gonna pull it forward. The bed is cooling down right now. You guys can't see it because of the lighting and everything, but right now it's about 40 degrees. But I just cleaned off the bed before I printed on it, and then I just made sure it was level, started printing, and here it is, a complete piece here. And now we're just gonna try and just take it off the bed and see how it works. So no. So that was easy. Didn't have to do anything. It's pretty nice. Just nice, and I did use a brim because I just want good adhesion. And if you do set up the print to just if you set it to the right height when you're leveling it, the brim comes off really easy, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so far nice, smooth. The printer is still cooling down, but as you can see, nice and clean. The very first time I thought I had it leveled, so now there's like a little scratch right there, but nothing too bad. I'm gonna rub this down with some alcohol, clean it again, see if maybe that'll go away, but battle scar on the printer. So this piece I just printed goes with a few other pieces that I was printing for the past few days. Basically printing up a new X carriage, and some of you might recognize this design. If anybody has worked with a Prusa, the MK2, this is the same carriage for that. If you guys want to print these out, they're available on Prusa's website. It has all the SD files available for those, and I found that one just to be just a really good design. Everything's simplified, as complex as it is. Everything's simplified and just easy. The only thing I don't like is that they use zip ties to hold down the bearings, but outside of that, it's just a simplified design. Really nice, easy to use. And then I have the V6 here that just is going to fit in there. A few other pieces I need to buy to continue and make this work, but otherwise it'll be fine. Now, as you can see here, I've used some of the pieces that I did for the upgrade, and we'll go back to the print and take a look at them, but here's some of the ones I didn't use, and I'll explain the reasons why I didn't use them. So right here, this is for the belt tensioner. As you can see, this is the knob and the flat piece that goes on the front that would attach to these guys here. Now, unfortunately, they just didn't fit. As much as I tried to push them in there, they just didn't fit in the sockets, and I just wasn't able to use them. Actually, one of them got stuck. Had it in there for an hour, and I was like slowly edging it out to the point where I finally did get it out, but it just didn't work, unfortunately, so I'm not going to use those. And then I have these here. Now, this is the belt tensioner for the X, and this is the belt holder for the X. Now, the only reason I didn't use these, and these came out actually really well, there was nothing wrong with these pieces, absolutely nothing wrong. They came out just great, both of them. And I showed you guys this in the last build vlog, but I found a piece on Thingiverse that basically replaced both of these. It was a belt holder and tensioner, and it's this guy here. So it's a belt holder and tensioner, and as you can see here, you have the teeth here that hold down the belt, and it goes obviously around and back around. Then it goes right here, and then the belt loops over onto itself. Now, what you see in the back here is a screw, and basically you'll just turn this and tighten it till it keeps pulling this out till the belt tensions. And so it's really nice because this one small piece replaced both of these. So I didn't have to do a lot of dismantling. Essentially it's just putting on one piece, wrapping the belt, and then putting it on there. And then we'll go back to the printer and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So we go over here, we'll go to the side. Actually, let's just kind of turn this guy around a little bit. Hopefully I don't knock anything over. Let's see. Oh, I gotta move my light out of the way. Dang. Alright. So, as you can see here, this just fits on the back. And let me shine the line up there for you guys. So as you can see, I got that fitted on there pretty nicely. And as you can see right here, there's a screw in there, and you just tension that. I just bought a, I believe this one's a 30mm M3 screw. And so, yeah, it's 30mm. I think, and it fits just perfectly, so it's the right length for it. But I just used that and I tensioned it, and I got pretty good tension on the belt. Nothing too, it's not too loose, but springs back into place pretty well. And as you can probably see, I have the fan duct on there, which is really nice. And that thing allowed me to just get better cooling on the parts when it came to printing. I'll just turn this back around. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but let me spin this back around so you guys can see that, get a better look at it. But yeah, so basically just put some light up there. So yeah, semicircle fan duct works really well. I've used this before, and 3D Maker Noob did a review on the different types of fan ducts, and he recommends this one. And you probably can see next to it over here, I have the Z-stop that I made a little bit better than what was on there. I mean, I have it dialed in now, so I have it at the right height and everything, but basically 3 pieces. You have the part where the Z-stop attaches to, you have the little knob that goes on the screw, and then you have the holder, which you can adjust. So if you have like a longer screw or a shorter one, although you shouldn't have one shorter than what I have in there, and that's a 20mm one. So, but this is just, it's really nice because, you know, if you make any adjustments or anything, it's pretty easy to kind of get it back to level. So I have that on there. And then if you look down here in the front of the bed, I have these guys here, and these are the thumb screws that I showed you guys in the last one. I put them on there, and then the little spring caps that go right here. The spring caps I could have done without, but they were just part of the file, so I just put them on there, and they don't seem to do anything as far as improvement, but they're just there. Although the thumb screws totally made leveling this bed much easier. Just turning them was just way easier, just a lot simpler, versus little wing nuts here, which were a pain. These are just a pain. Like, I know some people say that it's easy to use these on here. It is not. It sucks. Please print these out. Way easier to use, just far easier to adjust the bed with. So do yourself a favor, print these out. If you don't, you can buy some. There's different ones available on Amazon and GearBest, AliExpress, Banggood, but do not stick with these. Do not stick with these. These are terrible. Do this. Far easier. And then underneath, I mean, I don't know if you guys can kind of see. You guys can actually, a little bit. I didn't think I was going to be able to. But under there, I replaced on the Y carriage the belt holder. It keeps going in and out of focus, but I replaced it with this belt holder, way better than what I had before. Easier, and also I was able to adjust it just enough to where this belt was tensioned really well. So It's not, you know, really loose or anything. It's nice and tight, not too much, but just enough so I get nice smooth moving on the Y. And I did replace the belts. That is also one thing I suggest everybody to do, and I'll put a link to the belt that I used, but replace the belts that come with this printer. I believe it's pretty inexpensive, the one that I purchased, and it's a pretty big roll, so I mean you could use it for multiple printers, but definitely replace the belt. I did on this one, and it just seems to work better, as you can see up here. Replace both belts, and I was thinking I might do this with enough time. I'll probably detach the belts and give you guys the exact length I'm using for the Y here. The X, maybe not so much. That was kind of a pain to do. You know, just having to take off the motor and put it back on so I can, you know, do everything. But the Y, and I'll leave you guys a link to the belt holder for this one, because this is just way better. There's two versions of it. There's a 4mm one and a 10mm one. The one I'm using in the file is actually the 4mm one, and it seems to work great. Have not had a single problem. And then the last upgrade I did on this, and I'll probably do a bit better video kind of describing all the upgrades, something a bit more formal so you guys can see everything. But the last upgrade I did on this is this guy here. This is the power supply shroud, and as you can see, it's hanging out the side. Unfortunately, this one here, it fits on it perfectly, but the other side does not actually have a hole to screw it in on. So putting this on, this actually doesn't hold up on this side, so I'm probably going to print another one. But as you can see here, I wired it up with the power switch, plugs in. Now I don't have to unplug the printer and plug it in every single time. The wires and the contacts are covered, and all I need to do if I want to turn it off and turn it on is just flick of the switch, and that's it. Turn it off, turn it back on. Simple as that. Really nice and easy. Don't need to unplug it. Although usually when I leave, I like to unplug it so that there's no issue as far as, you know, this being used, unless I am printing something when I'm not here. But I try not to do that. And hopefully none of you try to do that either, unless you have somebody around that's going to watch it for you. Or you have a way of monitoring it, or you're not that far away. Please be careful when using 3D printers. They do produce a lot of heat. Something can burn. But yeah, these are just the upgrades I've done recently. There's still more on the way. There's still a few more that I want to do, at least in this iteration of the printer. There's a wide carriage I want to replace this with, just a way better one than this. It's not necessary, but it's what I want to do. And then the bearings, just so it's way quieter. There's the Dryland Ingus bearings I've used on a previous printer before, and I plan on using it on this one as well. So it's just a much quieter printer. And then we're just replacing the Z carriage, and basically just redoing that whole thing. I want to redo that whole thing. But I'll leave you guys a link to everything I've printed. I'll even leave a link to that shroud I printed for the power supply, but I'm not going to stick with that one. I am going to replace that one just because it didn't stay on there perfectly. But overall, all these upgrades have definitely made using this printer a lot easier, especially the thumb nuts and this UltraBase. Printing on it is great. Really nice and easy. I don't have to have my glass bit on there held down by clips and have to pump a bunch of hairspray on it. Now it's just print on it, and that's it. Simple as that. But outside of that, I'll probably do another video coming up soon. Probably something a little bit more formal, and I'll keep doing these video blogs. And you know, that's pretty much it. So if you guys like this video, hit a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit a thumbs down. If you're not subscribed, please do. Appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.